All righty. Good evening, everyone. How are you guys doing this evening? All righty. Yes, Pa. You put it up already? Good job. Aye, aye, Captain. Good job. Yay. You do. Good job. I was trying to hold the, but it still caught me in a very weird, but it's whatever. Um, on Facebook. Look at my, they look so sleepy. Okay, so I need to share this out. So bear with me while I share. And I don't know, this new update for Meta makes it to like just share all at one time, which is kind of crazy. Um, um, all right. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay, you got that? Okay. Yes, put in garbage can. Thank you. Close the door. All right. Sorry, y'all. Between the children and Facebook, I'm trying to figure this out. How are you guys doing? Oh, come on. Is it blurry, guys? Because it is showing me low signal. Um, all right. Give me a second, y'all. Alrighty, let's post it there. Then let's go again. All right, there we go. All shared out. And oh, come on. Okay, there we go. All shared out. And let's set up TikTok. It's been a minute since the menu, man, a woman that put me up. Let me see. Okay. Ooh. And let's go to live. Using silhouette. Oh, come on. Using silhouette studio for business. Oh, you can't put for business. Okay. Okay, wait, let's see. For put biz. Yes, I can. Yay. All right, there we go. All right. I asked before. Can anybody let me know? Oh, it was much better now. It was blurry before. Very blurry. It's much better now. I have no idea what's going on. I am on TikTok. So if you guys want to come over there, it's probably going to be a lot clearer over on TikTok. Let's see. I want to kind of take a look at the feed as you guys see it. So let me go a peek at what's on the screen. Oh, wow. It is very, very blurry. Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, that's bad. Okay, let's see. Which Wi-Fi is this on? Okay, where is my Wi-Fi box? Wow, that's bad. Okay, where is my Wi-Fi box? I have what's called Google Mesh. But where is my darn mesh? It's probably why the signal is acting up. If it's blocked by something. Oh no, that I have to end you guys over on Facebook and YouTube. Give me a second. Hello, TikTok. All right. Don't mind my junk in the back, TikTok. Now that I've scooted down, you can see all of the work that I was doing back there. So, all right. No, seriously, where is my Google Mesh? Because it's probably, if it fell, that's probably what's messing with my signal. Okay, I'm so confused as to what happened to my Google Mesh. Where the heck are you? It normally, huh? Why would that not be in my room? I'm so confused right now. So utterly confused as to why my Google Mesh is not on top of my laptop. I mean, not on top of my laptop, on top of my computer. Okay. I definitely had to find that because I think that's what's messing with this. Yeah, it is. It's a little better, but it's not how it's supposed to be. Nope, it's not better at all. Okay. I think I'm going to have to end the live video over here because yeah, that quality is not great. But I don't have no idea where my flipping mesh is. Like, where's the one that belongs in my office? When in the heck did it leave the office? I've always had one in here. My office is the reason why we even got the Google Mesh. So, did I not bring it back when I brought everything in here? That's so weird. I've been working without my Google Mesh all this time. Yep, it is buffering. It's buffering. It's probably why you guys in the ink zone. If it was it blurry for those who were in the ink zone earlier? Was it blurry? My screen? So could you guys not even see my screen? Could you not see me? You guys didn't tell me anything the whole time? That's not fair. All right. Oh no, let me switch over. But when I switch over, that means that I cannot. Well, I'm not going to print anything anyway, but still. Ooh. Alrighty. You could see us in the ink zone. It was fine. Okay. Um, I was saying it's much better now, but it is very, very, very blurry from what I am looking at. Hold on. Let me look at it on my phone. See, on the phone, it doesn't look as bad, but on my computer, it looks bad. And I'm like moving all slow. And I don't know. Oh, yeah. See, every time I move, it makes it worse. Okay. I have no idea what's going on here, y'all. I don't want to do a whole live and it looks a hot mess.com. So I'm just going to end this one and I'll try and make my way back. So, yeah. I'll note some of the questions that are here just in case you guys don't get the notification. Just practicing my edit points. Would love to, but I've been off work for the last 4 months for my knee surgery, not going well. Oh, speedy recovery. Because I need newbie help, and it's so many people out there giving advice, and you have to decide if you really want what. Oh wow. If are you new to my platform? Because I guess like how can I say? You see my free stuff, and you can learn from that. I mean, and how I take it slow through my class. I not speak for everyone else, but I give very detailed information even in my live videos. Yours just says Facebook user. Are you new here? Have you checked out any of my content? Because I like the rest. Some people out here giving advice. Well, I don't give advice. I teach, and I teach very, 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 very good at it. And reach people on all levels to where no matter where you are, you can understand my teachings, and especially when it's in a class setting. Never a waste of money with me. Okay. So I had an image and traced. It had an internal part that I wanted to track out, but also keep the internal part was subtracted out and not saved. Well, subtract all. Okay, so you have to remember white space that is there. Like it subtract is going to subtract that away. So what you keep is the trace part that you put there. That's going to stay, but it's going to subtract that back area. So if you wanted that to be white, then you just take that piece and you fill it in with white. If it's something that was a pattern, then it's a little bit more complicated for that. What you would have to do is make a duplicate. What's not complicated? So you would make a duplicate, and then you're going to crop that duplicate into that space, but then you still have to subtract all. Make sense? So it's like almost like knockout. So subtract and crop. But you are the best I've seen yet. Shakira really does teach you. I took it a few months ago, and I really know silhouettes. And I now really know Silhouette Studio. Yeah, now she does. Yep. Rhinestones, I only see one section for the course. Many people have issues when it comes to cut. They say it keeps cutting out of circles. Do you have any tips? So I did address that in my rhinestone, in the rhinestone section, that it's because it's not something that they're designing in Silhouette Studio. It is files that they are getting from other places, and they're resizing it incorrectly. So that's where you're getting that from. Mine is on designing in Silhouette Studio. So when you do it that way, and as you resize it, it's not going to come out as ovals. But people have that issue when they're purchasing like an SVG and they're trying to resize it. Whatever size that is what it has to be. You cannot resize an SVG that you purchase. All right. So yes, I answered those just in case they didn't make it back on, but the video quality is horrible to me, in my opinion. It is. Oh, I forgot to go back to TikTok. Oh, shoot. My bad. I forgot to go back to TikTok. So I was, but I don't like blurry videos, man. I don't like to keep up blurry videos. I kind of want to go out and come back in, but then again, I don't, because I've already shared this in like 1,000 different places, and I just don't understand why it's coming out blurry. Like, I really, really don't. Yeah, I keep saying it's unstable. I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi. Okay, wait. There's the box. I mean, I know what the plug. Hold on, y'all. That thing has to be down here somewhere. Hold on. Sorry. Haha. Okay. I knew this bad boy had to be back here somewhere. It fell. So it was affecting the signal. All right, let's see if that's any better. I don't know what's going on with this thing. Yeah, TikTok's going in and out. I have no idea what's going on with this darn internet. All right, I'm going to come out and go back in for talk, because this is just crazy. It's not like it's saved anyway. And this keeps buffering. All right, it's stable now. Um, All right, so now I'm not getting the bad connection error. So hopefully it clears up completely. Hopefully it clears up completely. And it doesn't keep going in and out. Um, Okay, there we go. I'm just gonna keep it moving. It seems a little bit better, but we'll see. I finally have time to go watch and learn Silhouette in 30 days. Um, I just started my course. How do I save the playlist so I go over the materials again? So you just hit save. So once you click on like from the dashboard, when you click on it, it's going to take you to the playlist, and you just hit the plus sign save, and that's it. It will be saved. Where you can always just log in. You don't have to go back through the academy. You just go through that link on your YouTube and just go from there. The professor teaches. Her YouTube lives are great. Her style of teaching, that's what attracted me to her YouTube channel, but classes go more into detail. Definitely do. All right, so let me introduce myself. I was worried about the whole, if I want to do the introduction part, because it was acting all cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to even get into this. So I wasn't quite sure if I wanted to. Ooh, my braid came out. It's looking all weird and stuff. Um, so yeah. All right. It's still a little blurry, but we're gonna work it out. I guess we gotta work it out. All right. So hello everyone. Let's try and do tiki tiki talk 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 again. Let's try this again without all the craziness. If you're watching the playback of this, I'm sorry, but this is what happens when you are live. Things happen, and no, I am not going back to edit it out. It is what it is. You can click ahead to see what other questions were asked and answered, but no, I won't be editing any of this out. This is real life. All right. So, hello, everyone, and welcome to. I can't even say welcome to Silhouettes Anonymous because I'm actually streaming on several platforms right now in several different groups. But I am Shakia, the professor of HS Inc. 365 LLC. We are the parent company of Silhouettes Anonymous. That is where I have been teaching you guys Silhouette Studio for the past 7 years. I've had mine for 8 years. I've been teaching it for 7. Might ask yourself, well, in a year, how did I mean, back then I wasn't teaching it to this level. Just kind of the things that I was learning along the way. I started doing YouTube videos and content for that because I was a stay-at-home mom and needed to be able to talk to other adults. But over the years, I mean, just really, really fully understanding the program has made me the best and the top instructor for this particular program. It is a software that you use to control the Silhouette, Cameo, Silhouette Portrait, Mint, and all of the machines within the Silhouette family. But it is a really decent graphic designing software, especially for beginners. Before you go and invest in some of the more robust softwares, such as Adobe Suites, that includes Illustrator and Photoshop and some of the other ones. I've never really used Photoshop Elements. I think I did like years and years and years ago, but it didn't do what I needed to do, so I didn't really invest time in it. And then you have like Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, even Procreate. Canva is one to where, I mean, you can still benefit from learning a design program. Canva just gives you a lot of the elements already there. You don't have to search for things. I mean, you can bring stuff in, but once you start to bring things into Canva, I think that's where it's a disadvantage because there is a size limit as far as resolution and quality when it comes to Canva. And you have to also remember that anything that you create in Canva technically belongs to Canva. It's not really yours. So when you design in like a free software, you have more freedom over the things that you create. I'm sorry, a standalone. I said standalone free. When you create in a standalone software, you have more control and more freedom over the things you create, and they belong to you. But if you read the fine print of Canva, there is some things that you need to be mindful of with that as well. But Silhouette Studio, pretty decent. There's a lot of tools that you will find in Photoshop, Illustrator, Corel Draw, Affinity Designer, Affinity Photo, and programs like that. And also under our brand, we are the home of the Honestly Speaking brand of products. This is a bottle of our pigment ink, but we do sell sublimation ink as well. We sell it in all 5 colors. So if you don't know, there's no such thing as photo black. There's no such thing as photo black. Black sub ink is black sub ink. Once they're together, they're the same. It's just that some people have a really brownish black ink and then they have photo black. If you look at theirs, it's what ours has been since inception of our products, because I made them like, look, I don't like that. And Epson's black is more of a black color. Now theirs has a blue undertone. Um, and I was like, but if they can create one that's black and that doesn't look doo-doo brown, there has to be a way. So I work with them. And now what I have always had is what other companies call photo black. So if you have the 8550, you can get it on our site. It says 6 colors because we'll basically send you 2 of our black ink. And then, of course, you'll get the gray ink. But there's no such thing, people, as photo black ink. Black sublimation ink is black sublimation ink. Photo black in the ink world just means that it's pigment ink. There is no such thing as pigment sublimation ink. So that's a little ink knowledge for you. If y'all don't know, I love all things ink. That's why in our name, the ink is highlighted. My group is called the Ink Zone. I'm obsessed with all things ink, all things printers. So I know my stuff on these things, guys. All right. And then 365 Creative Academy is where I help you to unlock your creativity in wide variety of ways. That's more so like where you'll get like the project-based classes. I mean, Essentials to Silhouette Studio is on there as well. It's like that's my full-on academy. I've taught freely for 7 years. Now I pretty much just do Q&As. Every once in a while, I'll come on and give you guys a little demo of something. But to really learn Silhouette Studio, you got to get in my classes, and it starts with Essentials to Silhouette Studio. All right, so we're going to talk a little about that, talk a little bit about the ways that it can benefit you for learning a design software. I'm not saying that you have to choose Silhouette Studio, but every person that says they want to build a business in this creative space, or like you guys like to call it, crafting space, if you're saying that you want to create and build a business in it, the main part of it is the creation part. You can start off and you can go, and there's some amazing designers out there, and they create a lot of different things, and you can go that route, and to where you're not doing anything personalized and truly like customized. You can probably make tweaks and stuff, but if you're just one that just doesn't want to design, there's a lot of great files out there that you can use. But if you want some control, you want to create not just personalized, but customized, like truly, truly customized things, you have to learn a software. Whichever software you choose for that to be, you guys have to be consistent with trying to learn it. I know you guys say, oh, I have orders and this and this and third, but you have to at some point slow down and take time to actually learn a design software, because that's the only way that you're going to grow. People can go and tell you a million things about reels, about advertising, do ads, you must have a website, get a group, do this, do this, do this, do that, all these different things. Yeah, you're going to make it, you're going to be successful. But if you don't know the foundation of the business that you're trying to get into, all those things are for naught. Like there are mute points at that point if you don't know how to design, if you're in a creative business, if you are a creative entrepreneur, designing is going to be your foundation. And that's what your girl comes in at. All right. So that's a little bit about me. In this live session, I typically tend to like to answer questions. We'll answer hopefully a lot more questions about Silhouette Studio, and you guys can see the benefit of our 30-day training. So our new classes start in October. I will not be doing the basics of Silhouette Studio live at all anytime soon. That course, that training is set up perfectly, where I go over every single tool for you to understand what their functions are, so that when you get into design classes, you can focus on understanding how to design. There's a big difference, people. There's a very, very, very big difference between learning a software and learning to design. My system shut down, so all of my windows closed, but I was supposed to go live. Was that Friday or Saturday? One of those days I was supposed to go live, and I had all these different things up. So I was looking at colleges and their graphic design track and like their course or like their program. And they have you start off like you're paying a lot of money, thousands of dollars for these courses. And the way they have it set up, and as far as the credits that you need, the first part of it has really nothing to do most times with graphic designing. It was like, I mean, I was looking at it, I'm just like, what does this have to do? But that's prerequisites, and they make you do certain things so you can understand concepts and composition of certain things before you get to the nitty gritty. And as creatives, I must say, I was one of them. Now I do take my time when it comes to learning new things, but we kind of want to just jump into it and just go. And there's foundations. Like you can't build a house on sinking sand. You can't build it and want to go 3, 4, 5 stories up and your foundation is made with silly putty. Like that's just not going to work. That's just silly. So you have to set that foundation and you have to learn like the tools. What is it that they do? Get them. Well, what does subtract do? What does make compound path mean? So if we go into designing, I'm going to go and I'm saying, okay, we're going to select this and this. We're going to make compound path. If someone goes, okay, well, what does make compound path do? I'm not answering that. I'm going to refer you back to Essential Studio because that breaks everything down, because it actually has more than one use. And I'm only talking about how it's useful in this. So all it's going to be is, okay, we're going to bring this in. We're going to do this. We're going to draw this. We're going to make it a compound path. We're going to subtract. We're going to move it over. We're going to align. I was showing them today, as far as aligning stuff, sometimes you have to group together different sections so that they stay and then you align. So it's little things like that that you have to learn when it comes to designing. All right. Okay. I saw you talk about those color palettes yesterday. Where can I get those? On my way. Guys, anything I talk about, look, let's be very clear. I love y'all and all, right? I enjoy what I do. I was in the ink zone. I told them, I was like, y'all, I need to teach something today. I need to answer questions because they were kind of just watching me design. They didn't really have a lot of questions, but I'm like, I need to teach. I need someone to ask me some questions and I need to answer these questions, right? So I end up coming on here. But everything that I do is about teaching. But anything that I kind of put out, look, this is my business. Being on live, helping others, this is a part of my business. This isn't something that I do extra. This is my business, to be online and to help others, right? To set up my classes. When it comes to products, I just push it. I show you the results of it. My husband is the one that deals with everything else for that side of the business. So I'm just the face of it. Everything I do serves a purpose. And everything that I mention, unless it's like a blank, and I'm going to always say Amazon, or I got it from a different place. But if it's something like a color chart, a class, an ink, it's on my website. It's on my website. So go over to the website and you can get the color chart. There is a file that's already set up to where all you have to do is just put it on a 20-ounce tumbler. And then there's individual ones that's set up for 8.5 by 11 prints for you to press to fabric, like felt if you want to just put all of them together and print them out as one big, well, you can't print them out as one big thing, but if you want to go and you want to sublimate it to one big piece of fabric, you can do that. You want to just print them out from your dye-based printer, your pigment printer, your eco-solvent printer, you can do that. So it's always on my website. Hey, just say hello, Jay. All right. Let's see. Did I miss anything? So that's where you're going to find those at. Go under essentials or just type in color chart in the search and it'll come up. Hello, Custom Designs. How are you? Thank you guys for joining me live. Don't forget to go ahead and tap the screen. Don't forget over here to give this video a thumbs up. If you're watching on Facebook, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, the heart button, the care button, the mad face, the angry face. Just go ahead and smash one of those reaction buttons over on Facebook and drop a comment. Let me know who's watching. Let me know where you're watching from. All right. That always helps the broadcast get distributed. Okay. We got to get these numbers. My information is too valuable. We got to get these numbers up. Y'all got to share. Like, y'all got to share. Y'all can't keep all this goodness for yourself. Vonda, hello. How are you? And welcome. So yeah, feel free to post your questions. Oh my God. There you go. I'm here to help and answer questions as far like in this particular one, Select Studio and how it can help you. I was actually so my students in the Ink Zone and those who have taken the 30-day training, I decided to share some of my design, like whenever I'm designing, basically do a watch me work when I'm designing, because I figured that would help, especially for those who enroll in the 30-day. It'll help you kind of bridge the gap. And now that you've learned all these tools, okay, well, what do I do with them? How do I use them in design? How do I put them together to create something absolutely amazing? And so this is something that I end up having to make. There is a benefit brunch for this organization on Saturday. So I'm making these cards because the founder has since passed. So it's like their founder's card for the person that started, but it also has her mission statement and how to donate and all that. So it's kind of a keepsake one where they can share it with others so people can scan it and support Miss Flora Johnson's foundation. So they got to see me kind of like design this like last week. They got to see me recreate this because the image that they sent to me was not, which I need to do like Eric. I need to flip my camera. Ooh, no, not flip camera. Mirror my video. There we go. So you guys can see it the correct way, but there's that. So they got to see me basically recreate that logo. Today they got to see me like pick a different name. They actually got to see me recreate the legacy part with straight lines and all that stuff. So that was a really good one over in the Ink Zone and the 30-day training. They got to see that live. And then the back just basically has all their information on it. And you guys will get to see me sublimate these. I have to do 100 of them, but it's going to be really quick because I have 13 by 19 paper and I can put 25 on a 13 by 19 sheet of paper. So it's only going to be technically 8 presses because it's front and back. So 8 presses at one time to get 100 of these done. So there's that. So they got to see me design this and choose fonts, as well as, if you guys did not see the post that I made, I had to design some awards for wall plaques and like little hexagon plaques that most people use for social media signs. They can be used for different things, guys. You have to learn to tap into the full potential of sublimation if that's what you're into. And not just kind of like the things that you see like in groups. Like in groups, I always feel like everyone's doing the same thing. But over my group, and sometimes on my videos, I like to show and share with you guys different ways of using sublimation so that you can tap into like areas that aren't like really, really tapped into. And there's a whole market. If you feel like it's oversaturated, create a new lane, because there's a lot of different things that you can sell and market yourself as when it comes to sublimation. All right. Okay, I have a question with your Cameo. I made a mistake and brought the big white elephant. Do you have any insight on the 15-inch one? My Cameo is dying and I need to replace it. So the 15-inch one, kind of like the 12, just 15 inches. The 24 just has so many things that's just not great about it. If you want to go that route, at that point, if you feel like you need 24-inch for anyone, trust me, it's better for you to go and get a commercial one. I know the price seems right, but it's just not worth it. But the 15-inch one is fine if you need 15 inches. But most people get it and they're thinking, okay, I need the bigger one for bigger printing cuts. Well, if your printer only prints 13 by 9, well, let's say like if you're typically using 11 by 17 paper, you can do that with the regular 12-inch Cameo. Like you can definitely do that with a regular 12-inch Cameo. If you have 13 by 19 paper, you're still limited, right, to 12 by 24. Because if it's paper, you need a mat. There is no 15 by 24 inch mat. It's just a 15 by 15. So, I mean, that's the only reason why some people go to the big beast so that they can use the 24 by 24 and do 13 by 19 paper on it for print and cut. But on average, most people don't really use the 13 by 19 unless it's like sublimation. And they really don't need to do print and cut for that. But for regular papers, you're going to get like the 11 by 17, 12 by 19. So the 24 inches actually overkill unless you're trying to do a lot of decals that are just humongous in size. But you'll find that major print companies, they splice a lot. I worked at the Arena. I saw them do it. So when they have these big wall prints, a lot of times that's not printed as one. For one, putting that on that size can be quite troublesome sometimes. And so you'll see them where they'll go and like it's basically pieced together in sections. So don't think that you're doing something wrong or, oh, this is just the because I have a small format printer. Even with big ones, sometimes they have to piece it together. Now, the one thing that you will not catch me trying to piece together, like as a business and doing all the time, all over shirts. I just think that's overrated to try and do it with a small printer and heat press. Heat press, not so much. It's that small printer situation because you have to go and tape it all together, and that can be annoying. So trust me, I know. I just messed up like 2-3 sheets the other night when I was doing the blanket. So yeah, it's no fun. Watching from Houston, watching from Jersey. But yeah, 15 is fine. So you have a video for distance adjustments for the Cameo 3. What do you mean distance adjustments? Got to give me a little bit more on that. If you're talking about calibration, I have never had to calibrate it. It's normally something with either how you have it set up. You either have your settings dialed up too high and it's causing it to dig into your mat and causing it to be off, or a lot of times it is how you've traced and detached something and it's not on the line and you're getting a lot of that white. It's a little bit harder to tell on the computer unless you zoom in. But I've never had to calibrate any of my machines. Solvent prints, I mean, yeah, you definitely can. You just have to have a really good split on it and be really, really careful. You're going to probably see that line of demarcation on it. I've done it before. If you go, well, not Eco Solvent, but I've done it with like my Jet Pro 3G. So it's probably been like 2 years now, 3 years. It's not something I do often, but I had one and it was, I always show it, but it's under all this stuff now. It's that vacation one, the beach vacation at Myrtle Beach one. And for the one shirt, I had to split it. And I split it in a very strategic area so that when I pressed them, you couldn't really tell. Like it just looked natural. But you will, if it's just a straight line across it and you can't like contour it in a specific area, you're going to see that line of demarcation. Hello from Houston. How are you? Professor, is it possible when placing an offset, how do you get the offset on the inside of the cavity without it covering up? You have to change the distance. So everything with offset is distance. So if that area, so let's say you're setting the offset to 0.5, but that area is only 0.25, you cannot put it in that area because you're making an offset that's bigger than that. So you have to shrink it down to where you'll start to see it. So you change your distance on it. But that is going to mean that the outside is not how you want it. So if you want to still have that cavity, what you'll end up having to do is do basically 2 offsets and then release compound path and delete everything else except that middle part. But the distance between the offset and like the outline and then the offset and the inside cavities, it's not going to match. One's going to be thicker, one's going to be thinner. Like you cannot force it to be a size that it's not. If that size is 0.25 and your offset is 0.5, it's going to disappear. I'm good. Loving your classes. Great to hear. I'm using splatter elements from Creative Fabrica and they keep making my Silhouette Studio lag or shut down. Is there a fix for this? That's because of your graphics card. And if you're trying to trace it, I'm not sure if you're just using it as a PNG or a JPEG, or if you're trying to like trace it down, you're going to have like a lot of little pieces on there. You can probably try to eliminate some of those, but it really comes down to your graphics card and your memory, which is why I always recommend getting a gaming system, because that's going to have something that has like a really great graphics card and you're going to need memory for it. And good RAM so that you can do like gaming and virtual reality on it. If you're using version 4.4, one of the things that you can do is go back down to version 4.3, 32-bit version if you're on a PC, or just go back to 4.3 if you're on a Mac. That runs a little, it's not as needy for resources as some of like the newer ones are. 4.4 is very needy for resources. Like it needs to have like the best of the best for a lot of people, especially if you have a lot of things on your hard drive. So that also plays a big part on it, because at some point it'll tell you that you're low on resources and you'll get like this little warning. So if you have a system where you don't have a really big hard drive and it's darn near full, you don't have a great graphics card and your memory, it's going to shut down a lot. So over here, I just got the Cameo Pro. No, I'm just playing. But for my birthday, any tips or tricks I should use right away? I don't like the Pro. I'm being honest. Learn the software first. The machine is secondary. The software is first. In my honest and professional opinion. Give yourself some grace with the Pro. It is a bigger learning curve. Like just where to line it up at. That mat can slide and move around. The holder for the vinyl is not that great if you're trying to do like cuts on a roll. So, my tip is to build up your patience because it can drive you absolutely bonkers. I just need a bigger mat for my Cameo 4, the 12 by 24 inch, and I use Cricut mats with mine. I don't use the silhouette mats. I just found a reason to use my crosshairs. I've never used them before. Thanks for the training. Yay, crosshairs and center of rotation. Y'all know those are my best friends. I love me some crosshairs. I love the center of rotation. They annoy everybody else until you know how to use them. Then when you're in my 30-day training, I teach you how to use them. Like they serve an amazing purpose, an amazing, amazing purpose. I'm working on EcoSolvent print. When I tried to cut the print, it was off. It was suggested to calibrate my Cameo. I got the calibration done, but I'm not sure how to adjust the distance. You don't have to. I can guarantee you it has nothing to do with calibration. Most times when people have issues with the print and cut, it's user error in how it prints. So for EcoSolvent, for a lot of people, what the issue is most times is you not cutting that vinyl down, because if you're getting, like most places, they don't sell the Caesar color print or subly thin or any of these. Like if you get the ones from Stalls, they don't come in 8.5 by 11 sheets. They don't come in 11 by 17, 13 by 19. They come on a roll. And most times you guys are cutting them down. So if you go and you cut it and you kind of went over some, you're not, you got to use a good straight edge, preferably one that's going to really stay in place. And as you're going through, it's not going to move. If you are using a X-Acto knife versus like a rotary blade, that'll help you get a better cut. But it has to be cut down to the right size so that when you put it in the printer, it's going to print those registration marks out in the right spot. You have to make sure that whatever size you cut your vinyl down to, your design page size also matches that. It has to be. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It has to match. Everything has to match. And then increasing your thickness for your registration marks. Not most people, they'll send me stuff like I did everything right. I watched this video. This person on TikTok said this, and then I go and look at it. They have their design all in the restrictive area. You cannot make it that big. So most times the errors that you have in print and cut is user error from not knowing what you're supposed to do for print and cut. So if you watch my video on print and cut, it's not EcoSolvent. That's the other thing too, guys. For certain things, you don't have to look for a video that's like print and cut for EcoSolvent. You might not find a lot of really good videos. That's something that's new for people with using these converted Epsons for water-based EcoSolvent. Most people for EcoSolvent are using the big boys, and we don't really go through the same things. So what you'll need to do is just find print and cut videos. Eliminate the EcoSolvent. Your issue is not EcoSolvent. Your issue is print and cut. Now, unless there's going to be somebody that's going to do one specifically for that, and they're going to talk about the things that I just talked about, like reasons why it might not be working. Did you cut it right? Did you, actually really that's for EcoSolvent specifically. That's the only thing that's different. Did you cut that vinyl down to the correct size? After that, everything else, especially in my print and cut video, is what you need to do, from setting the design page to setting your registration marks and knowing your cut settings. That's it. She says, thank you. Glad I have kids because I do have a gaming computer. So if it's acting up, you have one, it's acting up, then try going down. What version are you using right now? Are you using 4.4 point something, something, something? If so, try going down to 4.3. Unless you have a Cameo Pro, then you can't go down to 4.3. I'm working on designs I saw for the Raiders, but don't want exactly like it is. Going to try and get in my Shakia mode to make mine, just not copy. I can't wait to see it, Miss Cheryl. I'm in the 30-day training and thankful for the weekly reminders. Some people like, okay, like some people are like, well, man, I have a chance, and they'll respond to it. But our system is actually set up to automatically send those out. So I'm glad that you are finding them helpful, that it's making you go in there and reminding you to go and watch your videos and then practice. So good, good, good. All right. So while I wait for your next set of questions, hold on, let me see. I've been busy globe trotting, for my brother's wedding last week, but now it's over. I'm about to get into it. Yes, where y'all globe trotted too? So, let's talk a little bit about the training, right? And what it is, how it can be beneficial to you, and go from there. So I'm in 3rd day class. Do you know, though, that has nothing to do with silhouette, why it's pulling from the black ink only. You have an air clog. That's the one downside of, oh God, hold on. That's the one downside of EcoTank printers. Like, because there's tubes, they can get air blocks. They can, like, the ink can backflow, and that's a issue. So the only thing you really can do is either let it sit to where the ink will flow, or you can try to do a power cleaning. Don't do more than one power cleaning though. Okay, so essentials to Silhouette Studio. Got a lot of questions. Well, what's between that and like my ink zone? What's the difference in it? Will it benefit me? Do I have complete access to it? Is it live? What happens when I have a question? So I want to answer all of those questions for you guys. Okay. I was going to say something, I forgot. So Essential Silhouette Studio, I did that live in March. I will not be doing it live again. I literally went. So it wasn't like 30 days, Monday through Friday, Monday through Friday, Monday through Friday until we got 30 days. It wasn't like, okay, 3 days a week for 10 weeks. Oh, Jesus. I went 30 days straight teaching Silhouette Studio, step by step by step by step. There is no actual like order. So I set it up to where on the weekend, it was the things that people ask about the most, like point editing, tracing, compound paths. Like those are like the big ones. So since the classes were at 11 a.m., when I did them, it was at 11 a.m. So even if you wanted to attend live, if I ever do it again, if you're a night owl or you're working during the daytime, it's still not gonna benefit you. Still gonna be watching the playbacks of it because that's done in the afternoon time. I'm up at, I kind of have hours just like you guys, but then I will come on like later in the evening for certain things. And I have my programs that I like really are more like the evening time. But that's going to change a little bit in October. So it was done at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on the weekends, it was, because it's the weekend, you have like a little bit more time. So it was set up strategically that way. People always ask, is there a certain thing that you should learn first? And it really isn't. There were some people, they would be like, okay, well, in the beginning, I was confused because of because of the order. There's no such thing as like an order of operation or this is how you should learn it, because everyone uses Silhouette Studio for something different. There are some people who just want to use it to open up designs. Oh, I want to design in Canva and I want to open it up in Silhouette, resize it and print it. I want to design in Cricut Design Space, get a horrible, guys, I don't care what anyone, I keep forgetting to that video. I don't care what anyone tells you. Going from Cricut Design Space to any other program, whether it's save it in Cricut Design Space, screenshot it or whatever, open it in Word, open it in Silhouette Studio, open it in Corel Draw, the quality is just not there. Now, most people don't really understand quality, or Yeah, this is red. I don't know why to tell me not to say this part to y'all, but and because I said that, I forgot what I was about to say. Okay, so yeah, I guess that was meant. God was telling me, shut the hell up, Shakia. So I forgot what I was saying. Completely forgot what I was saying. I forgot what I was saying. What was I talking about? It blacked out, and I forgot what I was saying. Um, yeah, I don't remember. It'll come back to me. You know, something about the class. Oh, it was shot over 30 days. There we go. And there's no real order of it. So some people were like, they don't quite understand it. Like, in the beginning, because I mean, we go right into certain things. You just have to take it one step at a time. My biggest piece of advice is don't go into it thinking about how to create a design. Take each day for what the lesson is on that day. Focus on that. Thank you. Quality of design. Thank you. User something, 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 something. I'm going to come back to that. But take it day by day for what that lesson is. Practice for that one. I guarantee you, by the time you get to where we're into talking about designing and creating custom designs, it's going to click and make sense. You'll hear it on the video where some people will say, I was so lost in the beginning. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. I didn't, because it's not set up to where you are learning a project as we're going along and you're using all these tools together. There were times, and there's going to be times where I had to mention or reference a tool that we had not gotten to yet, or feature, a function that we hadn't got to that portion yet, but it showed that how important that these things are when it comes to like designing and just using the system as a whole. So, a lot of them will tell, like when they were in the live, it's like in the live session, they came on there, it was like, well, man, I didn't understand this. And by the end, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense. And it's like an ultimate reference guide. It's not something for you to utilize one time. Okay, you're going to do the subtract. All right, I got it. I'm going to move on. I'm never going to come back. It's something that you should always, always, always be referencing. So what I was saying about quality for the Cricut, some of you guys have very low standards for yourself, for your creations, for your business, and you'll settle for anything. And that's not always the case. I mean, just even when people say, oh, you can use copy paper, but it's not the same. There's not the same crispness, the same clarity, like looking at those fine details, seeing things to where it's not blurry. Yes, the color will transfer no matter what paper you're using, but it's like the little details. And it's not probably until down the line where you learn to appreciate quality and the details. But I find that a lot of people who are new to this are just trying to like just get it done and just kind of make a quick buck, that you don't care about the details and the quality of things. And I'm one where I stress over quality. Like I just want to always put my best foot forward, and I overthink stuff, and my clients be like, okay, well, what the heck happened? What are you talking about? They don't even see it. But I mean, I put that much pressure on myself. So when you go from Cricut, there's a couple ways that you can do it. You can leave it as a white screen, take off the grid, do a screenshot. When you go to print, you can print it as like you can go save as and do print to PDF. So it's going to be a PDF. And there is one to where like you go into your local user, you go into it, and there is a file for the last thing that was like on your canvas. But every last one of those, it's blurry. The quality, like having sharp lines, it's not there. So let's say you need to do a trace and detach, because you're going to have those very fine pixelated areas. When you go to trace, it's going to pick on, you take it all the way up to like 99, 100. It's going to pick up on that. So the actual cut line is not right to the edge of the image. It's going to be outside. And you're wondering, well, dang, why I got all this white? For one, if you zoom in, you would see that it's not right on the edge. When you're zoomed out, it looks like it's on the edge. But once you go in, you turn that line color on, you're going to see that, dang, that's so far away. And when you're on your screen, if it's a PNG, you're not going to really notice it, because you're just going to see like the screen, and it's going to be transparent on the screen. So most of you guys don't think anything of it because it's transparent on the screen. But think about it. When you're printing to paper, that's not transparent. That's white. So areas that are transparent are going to pick up from the substrate that it's on. If you were printing it to blue paper, it's going to be blue on that edge instead of white. So that's something that you guys have to be mindful of. It's little things like that that people just kind of teach you the print and cut part of it. But why is it doing this? Can they really help you understand why things are happening? And that's where I come in at. I really truly help you understand the why. If you want to be great at this, you got to invest time in it. It can't just be, okay, I just want to be able to make this. I want to just learn this for now. I built a very successful business, multi six-figure business, because I took the time to learn it. I'm no different than anybody else. If you want to know this like this, if you want to teach others, I can't teach everybody. I mean, I would like to, eventually reach 100,000 people that have come across my videos and subscribe to my YouTube channel, or have taken, like, if I can get to where I can say, I've taught 100,000 people OM to the G, that would be absolutely friggin' amazing. Like, I have taught 100,000 people, kind of like McDonald's, and what is it, like 1 billion people served. I can't wait to say I've taught 1 million people. Like, I just can't wait for that moment. But I'm one of only people that really, really break it down that way. I had to listen because I think my son's on the phone. Somebody he's not supposed to be on the phone with. So my bad. I accidentally printed and pressed sublimation on plain paper. My tumbler came out terrible. Yes. Any suggestions for an economical commercial cutter? By the time you get into that realm, it's not really. So, okay, let me ask this question. For you, what is considered economical? So, like, for me, compared to the big boys, the Roland was economical, but a lot of people aren't trying to spend $6, $7, $8,000. And I ended up getting the laminator, and I got the bigger cartridges. So I spent close to 10,000. Well, for me, that's considered economical compared to those 20 and 30 and $40,000 ones. So I can't say what's economical, because what I might consider to be economical, you may not. So I need to know what type of number we're talking about here. When I printed with my HS Ink sub paper, it was like a caterpillar turning into a butterfly. Oh, that's awesome. I sure have to have it right. Quality is first. Exactly. If quality is what's important, then one should learn Photoshop and not suffer the design limitations. That's so not true. Photoshop. Okay. So all right, you want to tussle with me today. So do you understand? It's so crazy that everyone thinks that Photoshop is the premier program. Photoshop is a bitmap program. So when you're designing really great, effective logos, Photoshop is not the program that you want to use. Illustrator, something that's going to be vectorized, especially when you want to go and do paths. If you go and you design something in Photoshop, you don't get paths, you get pixels. So you're then going to have to go and trace it. Photoshop, for certain things, it is great having blend modes and things like that, just to type out text. I have done some amazing designs that are just text, and you don't have to have Photoshop for that. There are certain features if you choose to design that way. I am one where I make plenty of money. Plenty. People love my designs. It's my design style. I use Photoshop for certain things, like actually photoshopping images, photo correction, color correction, for photography, because it was originally made for photographers to correct images, not necessarily to create designs in. But because there are things like blend modes and all these things, people have adapted to using Photoshop to create designs. However, that is not what it was intended for, which is why when you go and do it, it's called a photography package, because it is made to correct and Photoshop images. So you want to come on here and tussle with me? I'll give you some real good information and some true knowledge. So to say that do not suffer between the limitations of Silhouette Studio, Silhouette Studio does not have limitations for what it can do. So for those who want to design within that, it's actually a lot easier. There are things that Photoshop simply cannot do that programs like Silhouette Studio can do. Now, I am one where I do use Photoshop. I use Illustrator. They each serve a purpose in my life. If you want to use Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, go ahead. I cannot help you with that. However, I will not sit here and let you guys say that there's limitations to it, because your girl make plenty of money. I mean, why tussle with Photoshop? And I created this. Photoshop has limitations as well, in the fact that when I design, I like to move things around. I like to go and maybe have one version this way, have another. Well, in Photoshop, unless you're going to, which now Photoshop has caught on. So Photoshop wasn't always created that way. Photoshop just got artboards to where you can set them up and you can have things separately. But in the traditional sense of Photoshop, once you have your canvas, you're kind of stuck and limited to that canvas. So if you want to create other ones, you're either going to have to make a really large canvas, which then throws people off because then they're not quite sure about the size to design to. Then trying to go and make a box and then do clipping mask of that off to the side, because you cannot have a bunch of stuff and have it off to the side inside that gray area, because what happens? It disappears. So there are pros and cons to every one of them. Whichever someone wants to use, it is not a good thing to down them on the program they choose to learn. You should always learn a software. Thank you for your comment. Okay. Yes. Oh, so you really want to tussle with your girl? Okay, let's cap at it. Well, Epson Eco tanks are intended for the various inks people put them in, but so the intention doesn't matter. Oh, you are very much so true, because guess what? I don't even like Eco tanks. So obviously you are very, very new here. The truth and nothing but the truth. Well, so I need to help you, because your truths are not the truths. And obviously, this is your first time here, because I will be quick to tell someone that I'm not one that actually cares for eco tank printers, especially for sublimation. So on my channel, I actually give full on information. I have tons and tons of video that have gone over the inks and break them down between dye ink, sublimation ink, and pigment ink, and what the inks were intended for. So before you go and come with, which I love it because it is engagement. So I'm here for it. Come on, keep it coming, because I am one. I cannot be razzed. I cannot be flustered. I know this. I eat, sleep, and breathe this. So anything you're going to throw at me, trust and believe I'm going to throw some truth back at you. So yes, while it is not intended for the use that most people use it for, it doesn't mean that you can't use it. Because if you use that little program that you wanted to say, don't tussle, don't worry about that, go to that. Some people can use that to somewhat help them with color controls, because it's a software that's meant for color correction. Wow. So there are purposes for them. So although eco tanks are not intended for dye sublimation inks, they are meant for inks in general. So they can be used because they have a piezoelectric printhead. They don't use heat, so they actually work for sublimation. I know quite a few people who are making money. The truth of the matter is, there are people making six figures or more from using eco tank printers for sublimation. And if they were not intended for sublimation, please explain why Epson created the F170 and the F570, which are eco tank printers. Oh my gosh, they're eco tank printers, and they work amazing. So I'm gonna need you to put that in the right context, because right now you're showing that you really don't know very much. Okay. All right, cool beans. Now, welcome to TikTok. Yes, you do. Hello. All right. So moving right along. Essentials Silhouette Studio, which is my 30-day training, can have it where you can make things like this. I was at a game. I was at a Florida A&M game, and our shirts were the talk of the town. And they were all created in this wonderful little program called Silhouette Studio. I just posted a blanket that is trending right now, and all of that was done in Silhouette Studio, and it was quite easy to do once you know the program. So you're not going to tell me that it doesn't work, because one thing that I don't do is I don't teach trash. I don't teach things that don't work. My business is called Honestly Speaking for a reason, and I never endorse anything that I don't stand behind. So that's that. Alrighty. So I could tussle with you, but you're not worth my energy. I thank you though for your comments, because you're right now helping my engagement, and you're going to help these numbers go up. So keep it coming, but I will not be addressing them anymore. If anyone else has any questions about Silhouette Studio, I am more than happy to answer those. And we're going to talk about my program, because I know what I know, and I know that the program does what it's supposed to do. and it's actually worth it. So yeah, no need to address you anymore. Okay. Oh, Silhouette Studio is for the people who don't have the capacity for learning Photoshop. Love. Have you ever used Silhouette Studio? Again, there are things that you can't do. So you're actually comparing apples to oranges. Now, if you would have said Illustrator, you might have a leg to stand on because Illustrator and Silhouette Studio are vector-based programs. So technically, it's never supposed to be a comparison of Silhouette Studio to Photoshop because there are two different systems, vector-based versus bitmap. So there really aren't a comparison. And it's a great gateway so that you can understand things without the pressure, because for some people all of those different icons that they really don't need can be a bit overwhelming. So don't say it's for people that don't have the capacity, because now you're talking about my people, and what I don't allow you to do is talk about my tribe, because they have the capacity to learn whatever they do is they want to learn. I eat, sleep, and breathe Silhouette Studio. Baby, I got Corel Draw. I have Photoshop, Illustrator. I don't like Affinity, and I use those very, very, very well. But you don't have to. It's about how you choose to design. So if Photoshop works for you, how about a round of applause? But it's not for everyone. And that's the last I'm going to say of that. So, yeah. All right. So, let's see. Shakia, the president, did I just walk in on an eloquent read? Oh, yes. You better teach. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. See, I'm the wrong one to come for. Ooh. See, I got hot. Like for real, for real. Look, I am perspirating. Oh my gosh. But it's okay. Bought and paid for the 30 course, just don't know where to go to find it to get started. So you should have received an email for your receipt for it. And then there's another email that's going to come. If it's your first time signing up for any of my classes, you're going to get an email that's going to say, it might still say Stillaholics Anonymous Academy. So it's probably going to be in your spam folder or your promotions folder. It is going to be your express login. Although you can purchase it on shop.hsync365.com, all of my classes are hosted on my 365 Creative Academy website. Okay, 365 Creative Academy. That is the website it's hosted on. So you have to complete your your login process for setting your password and all of that. So check your spam, check your promotions folder, do a search for, just search your academy, and it should come up, and it's going to be a link. It's going to tell you to set your password, and then you're going to go to your dashboard. It's all in there. Make sure you read the welcome. Okay. I have Photoshop and Silhouette. They are different tools. Exactly. I never understood why people need to disrespect something if they don't intend to use it. Exactly. All right. So, anywho, 30-day training. I'm going to go through here. Man, I'm really got some sweat here. You know? I'm going to open this up. Hold on. And then the crazy thing is like the fact that a lot of people actually use the machines. So it's like, why downplay something that it's not saying that it's just a design software. It is, and I've always said it is a gateway to learning it. So like that's just Danny. I'm not even worried about it because that's obviously somebody who don't know who I am and what I teach and how I teach and what I say. So it's not even worth it. I'm gonna let them keep on commenting because it's helping my algorithm. So they can keep on commenting. I like the engagement. Use what you use and leave the rest of us alone. We're good over here with Silhouette Studio. Exactly. Oh wow. Okay. Um Let me fix this. I'm actually unfortunately about to now block whoever that is because it's just the sheer disrespect of it all with that last comment they just made about what people can't do. And y'all know I don't rock with that because anybody can do whatever, what can do whatever they set their mind to. And for some people, they just learn differently in different ways. So they're about to make Shakia come out and not Shakia the professor. Woo-hoo! You better say it, J Rock. You better say it. Okay. All right. I'm trying to get over here. Ooh, I didn't even have to say it. J Rock came for him. Okay. Let's share my screen here. Okay, hold on. I'm trying to get to where the videos are. Actually, no, I need to go over here to the playlist and let's go up and up. And here we go. So we're going to pull this over here. Hold on, I'm trying to bring it up for you. Which I actually need to finish the thumbnails on here. I must say, I really do need to finish the thumbnails that are on here. So I just want to share with you guys. Oh, I got to hit share screen, share screen, share screen. Add to stream. There we go. All right, let's move you guys around over here. Oh, see, I forgot I was on TikTok and I had to share the screen over here. And it's a lot of stuff on my desk. Jesus, hold on, Lord. Y'all gonna see all of my junk on my desk. Okay, so I just wanted to share with you guys how it works as far as Silhouette Studio, right? So like I said, it's 30 days of training content. I'm going to go over to here and we're going to put this over here. And we're going to come over here. It's like visiting someone's house and criticizing all their furniture and their children. Rude. Exactly. So we're going to scroll down to here. I want to first show you all the different modules that are included. So we go over the features and benefits of the upgrades. So designer versus designer plus versus business edition. Then we're going to go through, you're going to understand like the preferences, the shortcuts, and like saving. So I'm a keyboard shortcut junkie. I absolutely love keyboard shortcuts. So I kind of take you guys through that and how they can be beneficial to you when it comes to designing to make it a little bit easier to navigate through the software. And then we go over program layout, just identifying where everything is, the way Silhouette Studio is set up, as far as like which icons are on this screen, what you're going to see. Like if nothing is selected, so I'm going to deselect this right here. Oh, wait, I have it set to open up files. It's meant for those who can't, but y'all see all this greatness that has been created in Silhouette Studio. Like I got full on yard signs that I created, full on templates in Silhouette Studio that I have created. Like you can't tell me, oh, and then when I go in and to me, it's actually easier for certain things compared to how, you can do things in Photoshop and it does great with blending, but you can do some of those same things and understand it without, oh wait, this one actually is the paper dolls one. So this isn't the one. So just making it so much easier. I love, what's his girl name? Feathers of Style. And I like the series where, I like the series, or her set of designs where you can like easily change out the hair or put different things like on them or whatever. So this is one where we're going to ungroup it. And so you can, oh, So no, I did this one. Okay, hold on. This is actually a mix of two things. And I like paper dolls. So this is a part of the switch up part two, right? That I'm gonna end up doing. So being able to do that because I wanted it to look like she had some of her dreads hanging down because that's now how it's actually intended to be used. So I end up doing this one to where it's like her face, there's this. So for printing purposes, it works out like absolutely amazingly to be able to go ahead and do that. Being able to, so Feathers of Style has this one to where it is a bald head, and then you can put this. Now, something like these images where you have shadows and highlights, highlighted areas, you're using brush tools, you're using like blend modes. This is something like if you want to get to this level and you're trying to design like this, one, you have to be an artist first to be able to just simply draw. But then you can digitize your art and be able to add different blend modes and add shadows and highlight different areas. So this is where Photoshop comes in handy. And then let's say you have this and you still have your layers. You can easily do things like change out the clothes. So now give it a different pattern, but everything is broken up into layers and it has to be in layers. Once it is a JPEG, it's flattened, or you weld all of the layers together, which is basically flatten it, or if you save it as a JPEG or a PNG, it doesn't matter what software you use, they all are going to operate the exact same way. Like you would not be able to go in and just change this anymore if it's not in the layers format. So you can go in and you can change the color, but to be able to have all of like how they put the detail in there for the highlights for the folds and the clothes, like you wouldn't be able to just recreate that and just put something on top without still seeing that, because you can do color overlays, you can do pattern overlays, but it's not quite the same as far as like literally changing the fabric. So there are things that you have to still know about designing. Okay. But when it's like this in a program like Silhouette Studio, you can go and you can just adjust things. So Feathers of Style has like now she's had some really, really cool hairstyles. So now she has it where you can get them bald and then you are able to like just switch it up. So it's like just paper dolls. I can't wait to get into doing this one and showing you guys how to really go about like, because sometimes it doesn't quite line up because I've mixed wigs from different, so they don't quite fit around the ear, or it was made for someone whose head is tilted or like turned to the side. It's more of a profile, so the hair is in like a profile position, but there are ways for you to go ahead and adjust it to where it can be used for someone who is like whose face is like straight on. So the switch up part 2 and 3 are going to go through things like that. And yeah, so this is one of my favorite ones. Like I love, so these are all the same one, and then you can go in and like literally just change out the hair. And then this was just so cool of how you can like blend that and make that look all like she had her dreads hanging down. I could go in here and did I do this on any of those yet? So I didn't, where I was going to actually change the arm to make it. Oh, I did. See right here. So the original one, her arm is out, but I made it look as if it was in her pocket. This is her hand that's just there. And exactly there's a certain way that you have to cut it off. And then knowing, so anyone can probably teach you to cut it off, but it's like, okay, so I can cut it off. And then if I just put it like right here, it's going to look weird. So like knowing like where you have to move it to, how much do you have to tilt it so that it looks natural. So learning how to do that and then just changing them up to where I just thought her arm was kind of weird hanging out there like that. So I just wanted to like it was in her pockets, because I think this particular collection, it was meant like I think she's supposed to be holding something, but I didn't like it. So I took her arm off and I rotated it to where it looks like it's in her pocket, just like this hand. So you can do a lot in Silhouette Studio. All right. So yeah, there's that one. So the layout basically tells you like what's here, what's there. So when nothing is selected, like what is it that you see on your screen? And, you know, you may see somebody else like, okay, wait, my screen doesn't look like that. It's so many people. It's like, okay, well, why doesn't mine look like the person who's like teaching, whatever? And it's because once you select certain things, now more options come up. So nothing selected, more options come up. If it is text that you're doing, your top bar looks different. So that's what the program layout is. It goes through all of those different things and like different scenarios of what's going to happen when you select something. What's on this side, side. So this initiate text, just like any software. So if you were to go into Photoshop, hold on, let me kind of come off of here real quick. I don't need no problems with folk. So we're going to come off of that real quick. Oh, wait, I got to cover y'all up too before I close that because I ain't got time for it. Although it's technically mine, I don't have time for the drama. So let me. Oh my gosh, come on. Why won't you close? OM to the J. Really? Okay. Hold on. There it is. Let's cancel. Oh gosh, come on, hurry up. Yeah. Cancel. Okay, it wants to act funky, but if you go like to Photoshop, Illustrator, they're pretty much the same way to where you initiate text on one side and then your properties come up on the other side. So in that aspect, they're really the same. So it does get you used to like how programs are, like more robust programs like Photoshop, Illustrator, and all of those. And getting used to like initiating on one side and then doing like the actual functions on the other side, because almost every single program is like that, from Photoshop to Illustrator, Affinity. They're all that way, to where there's certain tools on this side and they're just to initiate them and then you adjust them somewhere else. All right. So there, let's see, let's go back to here. So then we go through design page setup, registration marks. So for those who have issues with the print and cut, that day is really going to be beneficial to you and help break that down and for you to understand what you have to do to really get good registration marks, and understanding your restrictive areas, what happens when it's outside of the cut box or the cut border. That is a really, really important day for those who want to do print and cut. And then we have the modify, subtract section. So the modify section. So starting with subtract and subtract all, compound paths, they are like one of the big ones. And so it can be a little intimidating because that's like right at the end of the first week. Like we aren't getting into text or anything because that was the weekend. We had more time for you guys to ask, for those who were live, to ask questions. Anybody, troubleshoot, but don't be intimidated by it. Do not be intimidated by the fact that we go right into that, because it's for a reason, guys. Trust me, there's a method to my madness, okay? And there we go. Okay. So here's where we get into text for day 8 and day 9. So the basic of text to path, things like that, cropping images to text. And then the fill tool, like filling things with colors and gradients. Then we get into tracing. So basic tracing, tracing detached. So 2 full days of that. There's some bonus content. I stayed on with them afterwards, and people shared their screen to show like where like they were having issues and stuff at. So basics of tracing and tracing detached is day 12 and day 13. Then we go into the line and shape tool. You can do so much with the line and shape tool for creating like really cool image effects. And you'll start to understand, like with Photoshop, when you're doing layers like strokes and doing multiple strokes and stuff like that. Now it just doesn't have like beveled and embossed and things like that. So oh my gosh, I do. It is. Oh wait, hold on, y'all. Hold on 1 second. I gotta go. I was and that person threw me all the way off. Threw me all the way off. I have okay. Hold on. Okay. Anywho, I'm gonna have to get off soon. I forgot I do have a thing to do. Okay, so let's run through this. Finish run. Oh wait, shoot, I forgot about TikTok. I clicked it on my phone and forgot all about y'all. I'm so sorry, TikTok. So um we go through like line styles, and I was saying that like in Photoshop you don't have embossing, but you can do certain things with the line tools to kind of create that bubble effect and things like that. So a lot that you can do in Solid Studio, create some really cool text effects. Then we go through aligning and really understanding what that means when it comes to your designs and how to quickly get things to align, because the more you learn your software, the faster you can design, the more productive you can be, and that's more money for you. And doing creative business, time really is money. That's like the biggest cliche ever, but time really is money. All right. If you are interested in this, the link is in the description, but I'm also going to put it in the comment section. Go ahead, head over to the website and enroll in the 30-day. Go ahead, take care of that. Come on back. But then we go through the replicate tools, basics and advanced. A lot of people don't know the power of the advanced replicate tool. Things like, let's see if we can go back over here. So let's go this. We're going to rotate one copy, group that, and center it. And then let's just take a star. And then the dreaded center of rotation. We're going to bring that down, get that all lined up. And then we're going to go over to our we're already on replicate. We're going to go to our advanced replicate, and let's just do, let's say 15, because I don't really know. I'm just going to pick a random distance, and we're going to go, whoo. Okay, so it was too many of those. So let's go 10. All right, so we needed, oops. So let's just take that down to 1, and then replicate, So it's a little bit off, so of course, I didn't really do it, but you can go and easily and quickly create images around a circle just by using your replicate tool. Now there is one where you can go object to path and do the same thing, but I'm still one I like to use this method for. I use it when I did like the momogram and putting names around it, putting different like shapes and stuff around it. So that's one of my favorite tools and like features and like design techniques to do in Silhouette Studio. All right. So the replicate tool, advanced. I mean, it's a lot of, that's how you create your 3D effects. A lot of stuff that, I mean, when I got to that one, it was like, I didn't even know that was there. Did not know that existed. It's absolutely amazing. So then we go through edit points. This is one, I mean, it's the same thing as like, I mean, when you have your edit points and you can adjust them in different programs, this is more vector based because once you kind of come off of the pen tool and you've made it a selection, you don't know if you need to do, you can't really go back in there and change it. When you have a software like Silhouette Studio or Affinity Designer, Inkscape, Corel Draw, or Adobe Illustrator, they're paths. So those edit points are always going to be there. Or in some programs, they call them nodes. And it allows you to adjust things and like move them up. Whereas, you know, like somebody like to mention in the other one, if you do something in like Photoshop and you want to change like the distance. So if I go over to, all right, because they saw me do this earlier, right? So this particular letter was actually quite shorter. So in a vector-based program, what you can do is just double click. You can bring up your edit points and you're going to select here from those edit points and you can easily extend it. Not something that you can easily do in a program like Photoshop. As far as just like extending like that one part, you end up having to isolate it. But in a vector-based program, so you have to understand there are two different, a bitmap and a vector base serve two different purposes. Photoshop will never have edit points and be able to make edits like this. You have to either do liquefy or warp, or you have to like break it and extend it and all those different things. So there's different design techniques for every single software, for every single one of them. Okay. So going through like edit points, there's 2 days of it to learn how to manually trace and how to modify your text, all sorts of things. Edit point is a very, very vital and essential day. Very, very, very vital. And then from there, we have offsets, image effects, and that is where you can do some of the things like that's made like for Photoshop, as far as changing the colors of things. So if you have I'm just going to take this one. Now, there are certain things you have to do to isolate it, but guess what? You got to do that in Photoshop too. So you have to learn how to isolate certain areas to change them. But Silhouette Studio does have an image effects where you can change the hue of certain items. So if I wanted to change her dress to not be green, I mean, I would have to, of course, isolate out her body, so that is not going to change. But then this part in here, you would be able to go ahead and change out the colors in that. I'm going to come down here to this one. So although it's going to change her body as well, we're going to change the hue of her clothes. So there's ways where you can go in and kind of go around those areas and change them. And I could remove those and give her red jeans instead of blue jeans. I can change the color of here, but you have to isolate it from the rest of the body so that her body isn't, and like it can still be the same thing. I teach that in huh? MJ, get off of YouTube. Get off of YouTube. It says your father's name, but it says hello, mother, darling. I mean, but so I know it's you. No, my husband's not gonna call me mother. Anywho, so you can go in and like change the colors. People ask all the time about like look, you see how when it's isolated, her face here didn't change. So you would basically do the same thing where you're gonna isolate it. So if I wanted her hair to be, well, let's do the one over here. So if I wanted her hair to be a different color, I can go in there and give her blue hair. Because these are two separate layers, it's not going to affect this one because this is something that's by itself. So you can customize these for your clients. If you're getting the one where it is separated already and you're just pulling the hair in, or if you want to manually separate them yourself. So if someone, they like the image because like, yo, I'm someone like I live on the wild side. Oh, my girl, Alexis Galloway, who teaches embroidery. So she had purple hair for a while. So if I wanted to make something and I wanted to look like her, identifying, having an image, especially customizing it, that you can identify with. It looks like you. So when she had the purple hair, I could have easily changed this to give her purple hair. If I wanted to design this and give her pink hair for breast cancer awareness, I can do that as well. I can go ahead and hit apply. I can go in and change the gamma on it to make it darker, make it a little bit lighter and brighter. And we can change our saturation on it. We can change the brightness on it. There's a lot that you can do within. Oh, that's pretty. It matches her shirt. Ew. A lot that you can do in Select Studio, and most people don't know about these tools because this is not something that you typically find on YouTube videos. Who has seen a YouTube video that really goes into image effects and using it to change the colors of elements, changing the color of a background? So this is so weird. She looks like an avatar. You see, I changed the color of her glasses as well. So that's pretty cool with that one, although I'm going to go ahead and change it back. So let's go ahead and click on her. Come on. Click on her and we're just going to cancel. Boom, she's back. But let's say you have vinyl. I mean, not vinyl, like a glitter background or just any pattern background. So the one thing that's great to me compared to Photoshop, right? When you have to literally go into a different screen and you have all this other stuff that's up, right? Whereas in Select Studio, you can just kind of have this up and you don't have to do very much and you can literally see that change. So although I know Photoshop, there are things that to me are just a lot easier to do because you have to double click on it to get to your image effects and then go down to the color overlay. Now, there are things, well, actually, no, for color adjustments, you can just go to the top and just do the color adjustment. Unless you're trying to do a color overlay. And then it's like, okay, is it color? Like it can be kind of confusing with doing those because people get caught up in all of the blend modes. Is it multiply? Is it linear burn? Is it screen? Is it lighter color? Is it darker color? Is it multiply? Is it divide? Is it dissolve? Like there's so many options, and that's what get people overwhelmed with trying to go to a program like that because it's like, man, I'm never going to learn all these tools. But when you start in a software like Silhouette Studio, it gives you an opportunity to get used to what a full-on commercialized design program will look like. And if you can understand the items that are in here, when you go over to Photoshop, Illustrator, Affinity Photo, Affinity Designer, these same tools, the same keyboard shortcuts are in these programs. So now you don't have to start from square one. Okay, I understand about like page sizes and strokes and lines and all that stuff. So now I can focus on the things that I don't know about blend modes and like color correction. So it is great to learn Silhouette Studio first. Now I learned it. For me, this was a lot easier to learn because I personally did learn Photoshop and CorelDRAW and Illustrator first. But once I got into this, and I'm like, man, there are so many things that are so much easier. Trace and detach. No program, Photoshop doesn't have it, Illustrator doesn't have it to do trace and detach. How you have to do that in Illustrator, especially if you're using like your eco-solvent printer, to be able to get the cut lines, to be able to make it a cut contour, it's so much more complicated than it is in Silhouette Studio. So it serves its purpose. Trust me, guys. All right. So like I say, you can go in there, change colors. One of the things that I really, really like use it for at one point, because I'm like got tired of like always having to buy glitter backgrounds and stuff. So if I had one that kind of has a different like the light effect on it, but I have some really, really good like glitter backgrounds. So let's see, is this one glitter? And it's not quite glitter, but it's probably a better representation. So with this, I can go in and let's say I like that one. I like the way it is, but I want it to be a different shade. Just go over here to my colorize and I'm able to go through this and find different shades. Now, does it have the adjustments for like yellows and things like that? Not quite, but you can go, once you apply it, you're going to go over to your tint and you can add more red, take away some of the red. You can add green to it, take away some of the green. So it'll change the dynamic of it. Now it does affect like the white parts and the highlights of it. But if you don't want to do that, then you just have to come back over to like your brightness and your saturation and change like the tone of it change your contrast some so you'll get more of a mute color and apply. And then now you're going to like start over and have a whole different array of colors that you can work with. So something like Silhouette Studio, okay, I like that one. Guess what you can easily do? Boom, move it, and then create another one. Ooh, I like that one. And then easily go in and just save these. Saving is a lot easier in Silhouette Studio 2 than Photoshop. So they all serve their purpose. All right. So there's that. And let's see, where are we at on here? So then rhinestones, I show how to create different rhinestones, like how to mix sizes. Then we go into like SVGs and DXFs, and then we go into designing and understanding how to now pull everything together, how to create templates, and then there's more hands-on designing for the rest of the days and like Q&As and stuff like that. So a lot, and it's $83.65, y'all. This is worth way more than that. It is a small, for creative entrepreneurs, it is a small investment into getting started. And I've always said that, you know, you will eventually get to a point where you're going to need more than one software. But this is a great beginner software for understanding graphic design, understanding composition and layout. And you can focus on that before you focus on blend modes, because that's all Photoshop really is bringing in. And that the biggest advantage is like the clone tool to kind of, you know, go over like blemishes if you're photoshopping, liquify, but you can do that. I've gone in, let's see, that's not the one. Let's see, let's do open, and let's go to, is it called this? Can I put it in switch? I forget what it was named over here. I don't know if that's the one though. Let's see. Is that how they're changing the color sees on the coach? Not quite. So like with that one, they probably are using Photoshop, so they can actually use blend modes, so it won't just be solid color. Now, if it was something that was a solid color, then they could just fill it in with the color. But I mean, technically you can do that, but you have to end up isolating all of those C's. So here is one, and oh man, why she look all crazy? All right, so let's, I don't know why she look all crazy. So here's the original image of this. We're going to pull her out, right? So these, it eventually like evolves, right? These two were the original. Hold on. Well, these three, should I say? So these three right here are the original images, but I wanted certain things from each one. I wanted to eventually change her shoes. I wanted to, I think on one of them, I ended up changing her pants. I wanted to change the head on one and then being able to flip it the other way. Being able to slim them down and kind of give them photoshopping. So it went from here. So on this one, it's just a matter of taking her head off. It's like, okay, why? I never understood why she didn't have like the same images, but like with different heads on them, you know, because at first I wanted to create like a whole storybook and I wanted to see the same faces, but in different outfits so I can create different scenes. So I wanted a different head on there because I'm like, I didn't like the whole fedora thing, whatever. So I end up snatching her head off and then putting this one on there, on here, but everything else is the same. So then on this one, I got rid of her shoes and I put the shoes from over here. So now it's dressed up a little bit more. She has on heels. All right. Then the next adjustment was, ooh, there we go, lifting up her boobs. So if we look right here, I'm going to make a line. And even if I pull her down, so let's pull her down to where the waistlines add up. line up. So I did a little bit of a lift here, but then here I really lifted it and I kind of brought her in some. So here I end up bringing in her waistline to match it up with the pant. Like, so here it's those pants. So again, you can do a lot in Silhouette Studio. You just have to learn the foundation of it. And that's where the 30-day training comes in. Those who took the switch up for this were like, okay, I'm so confused. I don't understand, because they didn't understand the tools. So I ended up making adjustments. I'm like, okay, they see this, they love it when I am doing these adjustments, but they don't understand it. So taking the class was kind of like a mute point for them because they don't understand it. You know, they don't understand the tools. They don't understand what I'm actually clicking on. So I decided to take it back to the basics. And now I for the switch up, I'm breaking it up in bite-sized pieces, because for me, it was like, oh, this is just as nothing. This is easy. Like, I'm like, this is, to me, that was beginner. Like, I've done some stuff that's like advanced, but with others and them trying to grasp this and understand it, and also like they want to learn to design, but they're also still trying to create. So that is why I created the 30-day training, and I broke it down the way that I did. Oh, honey, I'm so glad you came on now, because if you would have been on here when I had to read homeboy, you probably would have went to YouTube and gave him a run for his money. Hey, Hans, how are you doing? So I created, like I said, I created the 30-day training so that you guys could actually understand the program. So if you end up attending or signing up for one of my design classes, or for anybody's class, or if you now want to use it to go back to some of those YouTube videos, how many of you have watched a YouTube video and you're like, okay, this is like Chinese to me, this is like French to me, I don't understand what it is that they're talking about. They're just breezing through it. How many of you guys have experienced that? You've gone to a video and you're like, as much as you wanted to learn it, you're just like, okay, I can't, I'm moving on, or you're just going to forget about it because you just can't get it. How many of you have experienced that? She says, oh, I have time today. When I first started, but now I'm like, but Kia said exactly. So nobody. So you guys are thriving from these YouTube videos, or is it that you guys are like further back? Okay, there it is. So I have numerous times. I have experienced it. I have, and let's see, we have a few more people. What is this for? So K Queens, I teach Silhouette Studio. It is the software that's used to control a cutting machine. Most people hear about Cricut. That's the one, like that's the popular one. You do, it's more information on it. It's more influencers for the Cricut machine. But the Silhouette machine is a pretty decent software, machine as well. Can do some of the same things, and you can actually do bigger print and cuts with it. But this is the software that you use to design and create things, one, so that it can communicate with the machine, but you can also create to where you can simply print it out and do different things with it, whether it's sublimation, eco solvent, printing, stickers, labels, things for your business you can create. All of the thumbnails on my website are done in Silhouette Studio. Now, well, these are done like from Photoshop, but like my product ones. So if you ever go look on our site, and let's go to summation paper. So like this one, even with that looking like it is on the stack of papers, I did all of that in Silhouette Studio. Creating the cover sheet for our paper, I did in Silhouette Studio. I mean, I had to go into Illustrator only because of some slight tweaks I had to make for how their system reads it and making sure that my colors were correct. But the concept and doing everything, I did all of that in Silhouette Studio. So all of our thumbnails, even like the one where it looks like it's, a 4-pack or a 3-pack, all this is done in Silhouette Studio. Doing the thumbnail for the cases of paper, being able to slant that using the shear tool, all of that you can do from Silhouette Studio. So if you're wanting to do a website, if you're starting off and you may not have the funds to maybe have someone to create all these for you. Can you imagine, I mean, having this many, like this much graphics, right? So for each one, if I had to have someone go and design each one of these, and this is just this one paper. We have tacky paper, we have ink, we have all these different things. So if I had to have somebody create for this, how much money it will cost me. So you there are things that you can do for your website. So you can create, I've taught people to create their banners for the top. So like right here, this is done with like my fade bar, a black background, the Be Incredible, and then just like having this here. So there are apps where you can kind of fade it off. I did fade certain things off, and like that's what I said, I'm editing photos, but then you can take all of that and put it all together to make your banners for your website. We're going to get into that. These like thumbnails like this can still be created in Silhouette Studio, because you're just bringing in the images. You're going to use a fade bar to do this part. My ticket for my full access, that was designed in Silhouette Studio. Then I think like all my older classes. So the layout of this and how they're just set up, all Silhouette Studio. Yeah, so you do a lot. I did a class called Compliment Your Small Business, where I showed you how to make text-based logos, how to create your thank you cards, your scratch-off cards, Instagram overlays, and things like that. Everything that you see here. So you guys won't see it on TikTok, but I'm about to put a overlay over my screen. So things like this can be done in Silhouette Studio, where, let me actually come back over here, where I can have everything there and kind of create the opening. I showed it in the live video, like long time ago, how you can do that, because you can save as a PNG. So you can create that opening. So all of that can be done right in Silhouette Studio. All of these designs that you guys see here was done in Silhouette Studio. I do all of my thumbnails for this part in Silhouette Studio, where I'm just changing this out, change the words, and then do all of this part. Oh, wait, what time is it? Okay, I got 5 minutes. So yeah. Oh, my digital templates for like chip bags and water bottle labels and things like that. So like my honey bun one, you can use them in Silhouette Studio, and they were designed in Silhouette Studio. So it's a lot that you can do in the software that will set you apart from other people. So that's what I'm showing them now, is what the power of Silhouette Studio, and how to learn it. And how you learn it is from like the foundation, the starting point. Even if you think you know it. I've been using Silhouette Studio for 3 years. If you feel like you have untapped potential in Silhouette Studio and you're like, man, I know I can do more, I want my designs to pop, like, I'm telling you, there's no sense in you waiting any longer. The longer you wait, the longer you're going to not create the designs that you want to create. So you're going to go over, it's 8365, 30 days, over 40 hours of content to teach you Silhouette Studio. And guess what? You're not going to lose access in a week, a month. You have unlimited access to the program, and to the videos. So unless something happens to my host site, but the way that I do them now, my secondary place for videos, that location is not going anywhere. And that really is, so I stream it to YouTube, so you guys have access to that link. I'm going to be teaching a class on that for those who want to get into teaching courses, how to really truly, like, my students value being able to go back at any point. And there are so many ways that you can do that to provide value to them, where you can truly live up to having lifetime access, because YouTube ain't going nowhere. So you have lifetime access to it. There is note guides in there. You have a Facebook group for support. If you get stuck, you can share with others. They go and they cheer you on when you accomplish something, as long as you're sharing. It's like, getting that encouragement. So all of that is included for $83.65, y'all. It's like $2 and some change per day, as far as like how this was taught. And when you really think about it, the fact that you have lifetime access for it, it's priceless. But the price I put on it is $83.65. And that is Essentials to Silhouette Studio. If you're on TikTok, just go to the link in my bio. When you click on it, I want to say it's like the second link, and it'll take you right to the Essentials to Silhouette Studio. Thank you. K Queen, thank you so much. She said my work is fire. So if you go to the second link, it'll put you right there and you will be able to enroll in it. And then from here, you'll be ready. When we get into my design classes, y'all, I'm telling you now, when we get into the design classes, I'm not answering questions like, okay, well, what does make compound path do? It's going to be, okay, we're going to go step by step on how to create this. We're going to either make it a compound path. We're going to resize. We're going to do different things. We're going to subtract. I'm not explaining what the tools and functions do. That is what Essentials is for. That is your foundation. I'm going to have beginner ones to go a little bit slower in those. And then like, if you want to be frog and leap to the advanced because of FOMO and you're fear of missing out when I'm just like doing certain ones, you might get lost. And don't go and say and give me no bad review telling my son I ain't learned nothing. It was moving too fast. She didn't slow down. She didn't break it down. Because when it comes to designing and learning the software are two different things. They're two different things. So you have to learn the software first. If you want to be able to create, like let me see. Not sure if you guys seen it. I'm going to find it over here first. I'm just going to bring it over to the screen. I'll bring it up over in Silhouette Studio though. So file, open. Let's go to, where's that blanket? Well, that's the Tumblr. Where is it? Oh, it's right next to it. Shakia, what were you thinking? All right, so we're going to open that up. Also, I created a digital file. I created a template that you guys can utilize. So if you're someone that wants passive income, you can create templates. People love templates. If they're learning to design, sometimes it's easier to work from templates. Being able to just go in and drop a picture into certain areas for template purposes, having those, it's amazing. I'm about to do my split text, my closeness. Y'all know I love that one. And you'll be able to easily go in and just change the colors. So you'll be able to take those letters and then mix and match them. So you can spell out, let's go Raiders, let's go Chargers, let's go Bulldogs, let's go Tigers, let's go Jaguars, let's go, if you want to put Alabama, let's go Miami, let's go Florida A&M. Like you can put whatever you want in there because the letters are already going to be there and you'll be able to change them for whatever colors you want. So that is a template that's coming out. I'm almost done with it. I'm actually trying to do the numbers and stuff now. And I'm going to give you a couple different options for certain letters. So that's almost done. But you are able to make templates. And once you know how to design, you're able to make templates that people want to buy, that they're going to clamor over. And you can design it one time and make money from it. But it starts with learning the software. That's where it starts. You guys have to trust. I mean, I've been there. I've done that. Trying to just bootstrap it. Some people can grasp it and they can soar. Some can't. You know, I've taken some classes like to bridge the gap. So for some people, you may have a general idea of how to design, but you just might need a little help bridging that gap for the little things that you're missing. And that's where Essentials to Silhouette Studio comes into play. Okay. All right. So yeah. So you guys said you watch videos and you're like, man, what the heck is going on? If you have experienced that, and if you are somebody who has taken the 30-day training, go back to a video that you were like, I do not understand what's going on. One, you're going to understand it better. And you just might find out some of the things that they did that were a more complicated way. And there's an easier way to do it. I have so many students that say now they watch videos and they be like, Why are they doing it that way? Man, it'll be so much easier if they do X, Y, and Z because they've learned the shortcuts. I teach you my shortcuts to designing to be able to get things done faster. Time is money in creative business. So look, I mean, me creating a mock-up. Yeah, you can do certain things in Photoshop and then go and get your brush tool and do all of this, or you can use your edit points and I mean, not edit points. You can try and use the pen tool. You have to draw it out. But then with this, all I have to do was just click on it, grab an edit point, and just move it. Like it was to do this mock-up here versus Photoshop 1,000 times easier, point blank in the period. But I created this whole thing here in Silhouette Studio. The computer doesn't care. A picture doesn't care what program you pull it into. For something like this, it doesn't require you to have these extreme Photoshop uh, um, knowledge because you're going to, you may not be equipped to go and draw and create your own watercolor. Everyone's not at that level. Some people prefer to purchase, some key elements and bring them in and layer them all together. That's how a lot of people design. Not everyone is meant to be a designer. So being able to go and pull them in, this can be done in any program, but the ability to customize it and add colors and select colors, sample colors, like you can't sample colors from Cricut Design Space. You can't sample colors in Word. So if I wanted his name to match, let's say one of the animals, you can't go into Word and let's ungroup. So you can't go into Word and go to your color dropper and like sample or sample. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, that's so pretty. Okay. So being able to do stuff like that, maybe I wanted to sample, like it's something in the background that colors catching my eye. So I wanted to bring it all together and I wanted to sample the blue that's in this curtain back here. I can sample that and it might help bridge the gap. Maybe it'll help me like see it in a different way and like, man, that contrast of color is pretty dope, right? So you can't do that in Cricut Design Space. Yeah, you can do that in like Illustrator, you can do it in Photoshop, but for the ones that people like to use in groups, going to like the words and things like that, like you just cannot do certain things. And that's where Silhouette Studio becomes very vital to when you're just starting out with this. Having tools that can eliminate some of those like learning curves that from out the gate you can have some really cool amazing designs even with just a little bit of knowledge. So although you're like, okay, nope, I figured out, I play around in it, you want to make money, you can't be playing around in it. You got to know how to design. All right. Again, it starts with Silhouette Studio. So if you have not enrolled in the essentials, I don't know what you're waiting for. It's 30 days and you don't have to take 30 days. If you can kind of breeze through them and kind of listen to them and I kind of like, maybe some things, you might want to skip over, or like, I know some, they did like 3 modules. They sat there, they dedicated a day. They went through like 3 or 4 modules in one day. So you don't now, because it's no longer live, you don't have to wait and anticipate for the next day. If you're excited about the day that you're on, you can literally immediately go to the next day and get going. You don't have to wait a whole nother 24 hours to learn that part of it. You don't like the cliffhangers when you watch television. You don't have to do that. Don't think that you have to attend a live class. Attending a live class is a lot of pressure because what if something happens with your kids and they go and they're aggravating you and you miss something from the live class? It's like, dang it. Instructors don't always go back. But when you have the playbacks, they're coming there, they're bugging you. You can pause it real quick, answer their question. I got to do it all the time. All right. And you can go back to working. So don't sleep on having access to the playbacks. There's so many benefits. So head over to the website, shop.hsinc365.com, enroll in Essential Silhouette Studio. Even if you don't have a machine, you don't need a machine in order to use the software. You do not. The base software is free. Everything, like, listen to me. Like, for real, listen to me. Everything that is here, everything that is in this design can be done in the free version of Silhouette Studio. Nothing in this design requires the advanced tools because it's a series of PNGs, JPEGs, it's just text, it's changing color, it's using your offset and being able to change your transparency or your opacity. So you don't use any upgrades. You can go to silhouetteamerica.com, go to software, go to learn more, go to legacy, download version 4.3.370, and you can get started like right now, today. I am not sponsored by them. I have never been sponsored by them. I teach this because I love it. And I know how it can help others' businesses because it helped mine. I was an event planner before. So being able to create custom things, chip bags, water bottle labels, being able to create centerpieces with using my Cameo, it changed my business for the better, where I was hand cutting so much stuff, creating invitations. And then people moved to where like they were doing a lot of digital ones. So being able to design it and like immediately send them a digital copy of it was just amazing. Like it really changed my business. People started doing like the whole Snapchat. I made money, like I made some good money off of Snapchat filters. I haven't started because I'm not really into it anymore, but you can create the filters and like the overlays for the 360. So you can sell that to those who have those machines. You can do it custom for when people have parties and stuff and you want to create that. That's a class that's coming up, how to design that and save it. Now you do need business edition for that to be able to save that where you can create the overlays like the 360 cameras and stuff like that. So I haven't touched my Silhouette 4 in 2 years. Need to use it. The crazy thing is, oh, don't get me wrong, the machines, they do what they're supposed to do, but the power is really in the design software. If you don't really have a need to cut anything, that's fine, but we're always designing. So let me see that damn scale. That's so funny. Um, do you design, like, do you do sublimation? Do you do eco solvent things that you have to print out? Because that's what the power of Silhouette Studio is, being able to design digital things and design things that you're going to print out. You don't ever have to use the machine. Can you export the SVG from the free version? No, you cannot. You cannot even open up SVG. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I told a big fat fib. So, one, you cannot open an SVG from the free version, right? You cannot open an SVG. But can you create something and save it as an SVG? This you cannot, because it has JPEGs and PNGs. Those can never be an SVG because they don't have paths. They're rasterized, they're bitmap files, they're images. They're the stuff that's made in Photoshop. So again, Photoshop can't do the things that Silhouette Studio can because it's vector. But like all of the letters and stuff, you can make that in SVG. So you can design things that have shapes, that have letters, things like that, outlines, and you can save it as a Silhouette file. Then you're going to use a free converter site to make it an SVG. So from the free version, you can create SVGs. You just cannot open them from the free version. I've been using Canva, but this makes me want to, again, Canva limits the size that you can really export and the quality of it. Canva's great, for especially for like your social media stuff, and they have templates that are ready made. And they do have elements in there, but bring in your own, and I kind of just using Silhouette Studio for that, bringing in elements, really, really customizing them. It's great. Don't get me wrong. Canva serves its purpose, but you should always want to kind of a free, like a standalone software that you can really, really create and you can change things. You can't go and make adjustments to letters and weld them in certain ways from Canva. All right. So things like this can be done from the software. All right. So head on over. Link, I'm going to put it in the description again. If you're on TikTok, you have to just go to the link in the bio. And I think it's like the second or third link on there. And it says Learn Silhouette Studio in 30 days. And just to kind of go over here, let's go here. it's always very sensitive for me, but like my grandmother's yard sign. So if you're on my page, you saw my grandmother's yard sign that I made when she passed, all done in Silhouette Studio. Her memorial cards, all done in Silhouette Studio. So you can create memorials, you can create things for birthdays, for bridal showers, for sports teams, for, I mean, it's just a wide variety of things um, that you can create. I have years and years and years and years and years and years and years of designs that I have created in Silhouette Studio. From things that are very simple and basic, but being able to arrange text strategically, being able to, oh, well, that one was done in Photoshop. So the casket panel, although it can be done in Silhouette Studio, because I had all the stuff for her obituary already in Photoshop because it was too many. My grandmother's obituary had way too many pictures. Silhouette Studio would have never been able to handle the amount of pictures that I put into that thing. So since I was already over there and all the elements were there, I just repurposed them for her casket panel. But that is one that's coming up as far as like designing. And I'm trying to work with someone who kind of also has a class on that, but she's doing it more so from Canva. But I've done memorial ones and we are going to go over that. And it's really, really easy to do. You don't have to do that. You can put them on, once you print them out, they can be printed out on vinyl and put on cardboard, put on foam board, put on Coroplast and just cut it out. Casket head panels are the easiest thing to make and big money makers. Like, I mean, recreating. So this is a good one. You can't get clean lines like this for recreating things like this. You can't get that in Photoshop. You won't be able to do it. Because I mean, when you go and you create it, all you'll be able to really do is like use like your brush. Like you can do like your pen tool and go around it, and then you can flood it in with color, like use your brush tool or, but it's not the same. So having those really clean, crisp lines. So this was an image that someone had in a group and they wanted it recreated because as you can see, well, actually you can see a little bit from it because look at the yellows. But you guys over on Facebook and YouTube can see how blurry and pixelated this one is. So being able to go in and actually create it where it's now a high quality vector, being able to use edit points to easily like clean things up, you can't beat that. And again, everything that's here to clean this up, free version. I did not use anything that was a part of the advanced. Now, don't get me wrong. Having designer, having business edition, very, very helpful. Very helpful. But it's not always needed. Some of the basic tools, you can create amazing, amazing, amazing things. Okay. So that was a pretty cool one to go through. I'll just show it via the website. It's easier than going through Silhouette Studio because you can see like, well, not all of them, but some of them. So I have actually, no, let's go here. It's on the main page. So I'm going to scroll on down, and bam. So we're going to go to the yard sign templates and you can kind of take a look at the different yard signs that you can make. Great money makers for graduation season. I've done them for birthdays. I've done them for memorials. I've done them for businesses to be able to have yard signs. So that's another good tool to have under your belt because again, it opens up. When people talk about opening, oh man, that's something that can preach. All right, I'm going to say this and I got to go. So let me kind of come off of here. Let's flip the camera around. I want to end with this about creating multiple streams of income. All right. A lot of people will go and they will start to add things that are so far left from what they do. You go from creating, let's say, a wreath to doing sublimation. The tools for that, night and day, totally different. So when you're trying to start both of these things. Like you're seeing all these stuff in groups and okay, I want to do epoxy. I want to do UV resin. I want to do REITs. I want to do this. I want to do that. These all require different tools, different equipment. So while it may seem like, man, it's opening it up, I can now do more, it's additional streams of income, not necessarily, because you now, money that you have not made. Like, so let's really think about this. The reason why you're maybe contemplating adding these additional streams of income and you want to add these new things to your repertoire and your to your library of things that you offer. You're considering those most times because you're not bringing in sales for what you are currently doing, but you've invested all this money into those things. But because just because it just might be you chose the wrong person to learn from, and they could not help you all the way around with, I'm not saying and to be honest, having different people teach you for different areas is always great, because I have people that I pull from, and things that I've done from like different people. Like you can't learn everything from one. As a cheerleader coach, we had a stunt coach, a tumbling coach, a jump coach, conditioning, cheer coach, motions. So we had coaches that specialize in different things. Now, I was the one that can pretty much do it all, but say here or there. I just love cheer. Things that I love, I learned how to do all parts of it, but I wasn't the head coach of like the last team that I kind of worked with. And my job was to come in there and really work on like jumps and stunts. And, so knowing your role. And then we went to the gym. Like certain people that work on like for certain people for tumbling, or they would go to a gym to like focus on tumbling. And I would come in, I would just kind of reinforce it. So I know how to do it, so I can reinforce what they've done and perfect it, because there's only so much time they spend with the personal trainer. So everything has different coaches. If you look at a football field, there is a head coach, there is an offensive team, like there's a defensive team and who do different things and work with different players. There's a special teams coach. There's all types of coaches and trainers for different things, and you unfortunately may have been under the wrong person for your creative side, for understanding business. So you already are having trouble making money. So now we're going to go use money that's probably for something else, for a different bill. And then people are going to tell you, oh, but get business credit. You don't want to start off with business credit when you first start. Why do you want to put yourself in more debt? People go and think like business credit just means that like, okay, this is just free money for me to do whatever. It works the same way as your personal credit. Like it has to be paid back. You're still in debt. So I don't understand why people go and they create this fantasy of business credit just being this thing where it's just going to help your business grow and flourish. You're going to be in debt. You're going to still owe them people money. Like that's just crazy to me. But you can go and you can build slowly. So you're already not making money. So now you're going to go out and buy something that's totally different from what you already have, versus taking what you have. Maybe the issue is you're trying to create something because either you like it or you see other people are making money from it. But maybe you have an avenue where you're using the same thing. You can make tumblers, and you can have an audience where you can do general ones. You can be known as someone that's going to make strictly amazing birthday tumblers. That's it. Like I'm not creating one for retirement. I'm not doing one for sport teams. I'm not doing no motivational. I'm not doing no affirmations. I'm going to create something for your birthday. Okay. Or, we make tumblers to commemorate your family trips, your annual trips, your big family trip. Everyone wants to have one they can sit on, and it's ways that you can market it. So if you were trying to do everything, and I want to make tumblers for everybody, okay? I want to make it from the stripper on the pole, so she can go and get her a little drink, and the ice stay nice and cold. She come off the pole, she got her drink, make sure anybody touching her stuff, have a little top on the clothes and make sure you ain't getting spiked, all the way to the president of the United States, being able to make him one with his family and Air Force One, all that stuff on it. Make one that has all the presidents and his name is big because, this is now his, whatever. Like there's so many people that you can make it for, but you can choose one area to focus on. I mean, Shit might be a look. I probably just gave y'all a whole idea. That's probably untapped. Take y'all behinds up in that strip club and sell them the benefit of a stainless steel tumbler and how it's gonna keep their drink cold and this and the third, and they ain't got to worry about X, Y, and Z. They got their names on it, whatever. Girl, me putting your lips on my sell it. I better go in them strip clubs. Go ahead and sell you some tumblers. They come off the stage and they got, so they can get them a little rag. Do I got any rags in here? Do I have any rags in here? Nope, I don't think so. I think all of them are out. They go get them a little rag. Make them a little rag. They get sweaty on the pole. Make them that say this Pinky towel. Pinky got her towel to wipe her face and her brow. It's real cute. Maybe she offer private parties. So while she wiping her brow, she also advertised the fact that, hey, you ain't just find me in the strip club. I do private events too. Here go my website as I wipe my brow. Y'all just need to learn how to market. Maybe the market that you're in is overly saturated. You don't have to change what you do, guys. I promise you, you don't have to change what it is that you do. If it's not working where you are, pivot, change, try to find a different market if that market isn't working for you. But you can still stick to tumblers. You can still stick to shirts, doing stickers and decals. They can be the same thing, like you want to do business to business. Okay, well, are you catering to those who are startups? One, if you're going to do startups, do understand that you may not make as much money if you're going to establish companies, because startups, they're going to be looking for a deal. But if in your hearts and you feel like it's been your calling, if you were created to help other startups, you got to be willing to take a little less money and not kind of, come for their pockets, because they were just where you were, where they don't have a lot of money. So you can be someone that caters to them. They're going to be looking for a deal. But then as you grow and grow and grow, I'm trying to get my cousin over at Bella Dulce Delights. If you guys have never checked her out, go check out Bella Dulce Delights. I'm going to need her to stop dealing with the regular folk. Her treats and the artistry of it all. I'm going to need everyone that comes in contact, everybody she do an order for, they need to be making 6, 7, 8 figures. And I'm sorry, I don't mean, but for the minimum wage and like general cost of living and like, the people that are here, her level of talent needs to be up here. I need the ones who ain't gonna bat an eye at an invoice. All these people that want to kind of negotiate, no, her work is where, tell me what it is, here go your money. Like that's the level that she's at. So everyone is kind of everyone have, like, every part of the business have those different levels where you might be starting out and you are afraid. Maybe you don't, because to get into certain areas and to get access to certain people, you have to be willing to go into certain areas. You got to play the game. You might have to go and have that one like name brand type outfit, whatever, where you can go and you can look like them, but then go still and present yourself. David Tatera can go and he's no different than a event planner who's, I won't say just starting out, but like someone who doesn't have celebrity clients. People who don't have celebrity clients probably design better than him, but he plays the part of celebrities and highbrow and like, high ticket clients looking any kind of way. He's going to play the part when he goes in front of them to resonate with them. And that's the same on any level. Have one of my students who was doing tumblers. Well, one of my students had a friend that was doing tumblers, it was rhinestone tumblers. She felt like she was never making money off of them. One of the people that I trained for event stuff, she had like a high-end client who really spend money, nice, beautiful homes and stuff like that. And she purchased the tumbler for like the birthday girl from her friend. And because her client was one that had money, she didn't even shortchange her. She told her how much it was. She's like, this is worth way more than this. And so she invoiced her for, she paid her basically more than that. And she invoiced it to her client. Well, when she took that tumbler, that glitter tumbler, not glitter, that rhinestone tumbler to the event, and the birthday girl had and all that stuff, the mom wanted it. The mom showed it to her friends. So now this person is now in a space where she can make these same exact tumblers, where other people were trying to shortchange her and negotiate. Now she is able to market them, and she hasn't gone back. She markets them to people who look at that and see the value in it. And where she was once selling them for $75, she can easily sell a rhinestone tumbler for $250, because that they see the value in it and they'll be willing to pay it. So you don't always have to change up and switch. You might just need to change who you're marketing to. And your stream of income comes from changing your audience. That's how you can elevate and take your business to the next level. So that's what I'm going to end on that. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys, and motivated you. Okay. All right. So I am out of here. Don't forget to click the link in the comment section, or just simply head over to shop.hsinc365.com. The first step to doing any of this, being able to design and create designs that those who got little coins are going to appreciate. We don't know how to use fonts, and we are not, we don't know how to do font pairing. You're not going to attract a client that's willing to spend a good little piece of change on a custom shirt if it looks like it was done in Word. Like that. That's just the God honest truth. You want to be able to demand and command that your designs are worth more. They can't look like my 4-year-old can make them. My 11-year-old can make them. You have to understand font pairing. You have to understand like alignment and composition and spacing and things like that. You have to. If you want to create additional streams of income, it starts with understanding the most important part of a creative business, and that is the design part. How to properly size. Oh my gosh. I see people that go and like things are just wrong. So you have to know how to properly size for things. It always drives me crazy when I see someone want to submit something, and like, let's say it's this big, yet they'll create this, like people tell them, oh, just make a box. And with making a box to cover it, if the picture is wide, you're wasting ink. You probably could have put more on there to profit more, because you can fit more things on this had you known how to just create a proper template and crop it down, and it fits that template. And we don't have to go. I'm like, I was simply like, why did they print out this humongous image to then go and take this little heart and put it over their face? You could have just cropped their face to it and saved yourself some ink and paper real estate. Like, you could have put more on here, put more jobs on here. And so you price it out as if you're using one sheet. But when you can put multiple jobs on one, that's money that you're saving. That is the power of increasing your profit margin, increasing your profit, because you're able to maximize the equipment that you have. But that's a story for another day. But it all starts with understanding your software. So if you haven't, I don't know what else to tell you. If you haven't clicked on the link, then you're not serious about it. Like, you're just not. If you have a Epson printer, if you have blanks, you have all these things, all the money that you invested in those, which were way more than $83.65, $100 printers, hundreds of dollars worth of blanks, paper that's going to cost you $20, $40, $50, ink. If with certain setups, it's $75. You invested all of that to then still have to ask questions about designing. That doesn't make any sense. How do I size this properly for the shirt? Oh, I designed it in Canva. I brought it over here. It's too small. What am I doing wrong? Well, what you did wrong is you didn't put enough emphasis on understanding how to design, how to properly size for all this really expensive equipment that you just purchased. When all it takes is another. So when you are going in and you're trying to budget, if you're brand new, you haven't gotten your stuff, and you're trying to budget, well, how much does the printer cost? How much paper costs? How much blanks cost? How much ink costs and paper, all that other stuff? Make sure that you factor in the professor's Essential Studio, because that is vital. When I say, what's your supply list for sublimation? A design software. Like, that's key. And so let's tell you again, guys, it's free. You can learn without having to pay out money to Adobe every single month. And once you get a grasp of it, then you can, and you're making money. So let's see. I'm already not making money, but I'm going to go and give them $20 to $50 every single month, yet I'm not bringing that in. When I can go and I can start making money in a free software, at the most, you might spend $100. Well, actually, on Swing Design, if you click on my link, let me give you guys my link for Business Edition. You go over there, you're going to spend $90 to go straight from the free version to straight to Business Edition. I want to say it's like $89 and some change, I think it is. And you can go and get that one. If you want to get busy, you want to save it as different file formats and take it out and do all that stuff. Even if you're a Cricut user, if you want to stay using Cricut for design, now the machine, I'll never talk bad about the machine. Like, I mean, when I know I have my battles with Gucci, I'll say like the machine is better, although ours did cut better. It's a lot quieter. I do like the fact, to me, the Cricket's blade and how it moves, it is closer to how commercial ones like the Graph Tech works compared to Silhouette Studio. So I do like that about the Cricut. But you can design freely and then just be able to easily take it over to Cricut Design Space to simply cut it. But for printing, you really shouldn't use it unless you're doing something really small from Cricut Design Space. But let Essential Silhouette Studio be a part of your planning and budgeting for your business and learning it. Okay. All right. So, the professor's class is worth it. I am on day 8 of the 30-day training. Awesome. And you get several, you mean what, with the business edition? Yeah. All right, so head on over, shop.hsync365. Get you some paper while you're over there too. If you don't know, our paper is absolutely amazing. It allows you to sublimate. I was looking to see if there's anything in here. At 365 degrees, as fast as 30 seconds. Those cards I was just showing, 365, 30 seconds for both sides. So you can get your job done quicker, faster, better with our sublimation paper. And these were done, this sample one was done on my Easy Press. And look at the colors on there. These were printed with my 7820 plain paper setting. I don't use premium matte. Love when you and Gucci are online together. Yeah, she took a little break. She'll be back. She'll be back soon. All right. So head over to the website. I'm going to go, y'all. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity and be incredible. Peace.